Hello, welcome, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Aaron Diaz, and today you're listening to episode number 17 of Live the Good Life. We have a special episode that we're going to take you on this afternoon. We're going to go over to my brother's house, co-host Adam Diaz, and he's going to take you on a step-by-step tutorial on how to develop his recipe for really good potatoes, and then also on how to grill up some great USDA prime ribeye steaks, also marinated and with a glaze, a different glaze than the previous episode. And then we're going to actually pair that meal with some fantastic wines, all sourced from Red Mountain. And then after that, we're going to enjoy a cigar, and we're going to pair it with a port. So there's a lot to talk about. I won't hold you up any longer. I hope you enjoy this episode. We'll be right back. All right, we are back at my brother Adam's house. This is an episode where we'll be talking about a great side dish and some barbecued steaks as well, paired with some great wines, and then we're going to have some cigars and a port later on. Adam, go ahead and take it away.
Well, hello everybody. Glad you could join us. Today I'm going to be working on a side dish that it really came about from me having leftovers. And in this case, I had some onions, I had peppers, yellow peppers, and jalapeno that I was using on pizza. So I had this extra, and I created this potato dish because I had at the time some baked potatoes that were left over, cut them all up, fried them, ended up mixing this stuff in with some oil in it and some spices, and it went over real well. So later on, what I started doing was just taking the potatoes from scratch, frying them, and then mixing all the seasonings plus the vegetables that I'm putting in. In this case, today, like I said, I'm using onions. I can use bell peppers, but I like the color. I like to change it up, especially if I'm using green jalapenos. And I de-seed them and I cut them. And you've seen me do this before. And so basically, I'm gonna cut them up pretty small. And then I can also always dice them up again. Once I get them cut up, just come in this way. And there you go. And so you have your jalapenos. In this case, I use 2. The more you use, the hotter it's gonna be. Same deal with the peppers. After I get the seeds out of it, I'm coming across and I'm just gonna cut it lengthwise a bit and just chop it up into small pieces and dice it. This is a dish that if you want to prep it or you're busy, you can cook it up really fast. It's pretty enjoyable. It's a great side. It's filling. People love it. I'm gonna put cheese in it, and you'll see kind of how it all comes together. At some point, I'm gonna throw it in the oven, and then I'm gonna pull it out. Be careful not to leave it in the oven. And so a lot of the time-consuming stuff is gonna be the potatoes. And you want to go through and slice your potatoes, and I'll just show you really briefly. After I peel them, I like to rinse them, come in, and I'll just basically just kind of cut them in half for some of you guys.
Is that kind of called scalloped, like when you're scalloping the potatoes?
Yeah,
okay.
Like you're going to do some scallop, potato scallop. And then I just come up, and I cut them like this. They're not too thick. I want them thin. Thinner the better, because I'm going to fry them. And I want to get them nice and cooked in the oil with salt and pepper and some other spices. And I'll talk to you about that in a few. Let me get up on the cutting, and then we'll move on to the next step.
Sounds good. Thanks. So we brought 3 wines, and these are all really, really delicious wines. The first one on the left here is Canvasback Grand Passage, 2017 vintage, from Red Mountain. Canvasback Winery is located on the south side of Walla Walla, and the Grand Passage is like their flagship wine out there at Canvasback, and it's just delicious. The next wine is a Cab Sauvignon. It's the Red Path Vineyard Red Mountain Cab. Again, it's a 2017 vintage as well, and it's from Frechette Winery, one of our favorite wineries here on Red Mountain. So shout out to Greg and Shay Frechette for this beautiful wine. And then there's another great winery on Red Mountain. You might have heard of it, called Col Solare. And they have, or they actually had, they are no longer fabricating the Shining Hill wine. They stopped making this line of wines, I think, just within the last year or year and a half or two. But this is a 2017 as well. It is a Bordeaux blend, also from Red Mountain, called the Shining Hill, and it's just a delicious wine as well. So these are all either a Cabernet or a Cabernet dominant Bordeaux blend here. So these are going to pair really nicely with the potato dish that my brother's making, along with the grilled prime ribeyes that he'll be doing later on.
Okay, so it really doesn't matter how I'm gonna blend and mix these things. I can put them all on the same plate. And again, I use paper plates like they're going out of style, you guys, because throw them away or rinse them real quickly and use them again, and then toss them when I'm done. No big deal. I can mix all this stuff. Keep a little bit of extra onion here on the side. I use the equivalent of a half a Walla Walla onion. I'm using russet potatoes. I got one of the smaller bags. I don't know how many pounds it is, but like I said, the time is you're peeling, you rinse them, then you're cutting them and slicing them all up. Once you get that done, got your cheese. In this case, I went to the Kirkland. I got the Mexican style blend. You could use
that's just Costco brand, right?
Costco, yeah. You can use the Colby blends. I've used mozzarella before. That's already pre-grated. It saves me on time. Right now, I'm getting these hot, and boy, they're already getting hot. So, down a little bit.
So what's that? You're putting in some olive oil?
Some olive oil right now, and I'll be using that oil on it, man, because we got to get that. We got to get these fried up, and then I'm gonna hit bake on the oven. Send it for 400.
Did you get the cat out of the oven?
We're gonna get that started, and so at some point now, I like to take my veggies here, and I like a big, longer, wider pan. It gives me more surface area there. And I'm just gonna get some of this stuff in here and get ready to season my veggies.
Kind of splitting it up half and half in both pans.
And so I used, like I said earlier, I used 2 jalapenos, and I also used a yellow pepper, 1 whole yellow pepper, okay? And with the onion, like I said, it was half, but it was a pretty good sized onion. So I still got plenty more onion. Oh, making a mess. There's more for me to clean later. All right, so for now, I'm just gonna get this going here. I'll use a little sea salt. I won't overdo it. This stuff's pretty strong. Get that in there. Then some coarse ground pepper. I just kind of start spreading it around the. I'll throw more on too later because I got to get that into the into the potatoes. So
another dash of oil.
No, I'm shooting some more oil in here to really get this all squared away. Some crushed red chili peppers, optional. I already have 2 jalapenos in there. I don't know how hot they are. That won't be overwhelmingly hot. A little dash of this might go a long way. So I could do it now. If you don't want it that spicy or you have kids eating on it, you could reduce the amount of veggies and all that stuff. So I'll spread some of this around here. Spread some of this around here. And give another whirl here. Okay. Come over here.
You put the garlic dust in after the potatoes?
Yeah. You can do it. You can do it now if you want, and then again later. You're going to be hitting the potatoes multiple times. Yeah. This is garlic dude dust from Gilroy, and so you could just. It's pretty strong stuff. You could throw some in there now, and then you know you're going to put the potatoes in. Start getting them in there. And I have 2 glass pans over here, as you see. And so I'll be getting on those here too, and getting those sprayed with some vegetable oil, because I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be putting them in the oven here too in a bit with the cheese at the end.
So we're back, and he is adding more spices.
And yeah, I put in some more pepper and some more olive oil.
More salt you added.
And salt. And I'm pretty much gonna hold off on putting more of this. There's plenty in there for some spice. I don't want to make it overwhelmingly hot, but it'll still be very enjoyable with what we're eating today. And this is about the time I just kind of let it. I'm gonna turn this up a little more now, and it's gonna start getting hot on this grill. And it's okay to blacken and char some of these a little bit. It really gives it a good flavor after you take it out of the oven and you blend it all together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head over to here to the pans, and eventually I know I'm gonna put some cheese in, and I'm just gonna do a quick spray here.
It just helps for non-stick.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you have this stuff, you know, available, there's a lot of different brands. This stuff over here is going to be for a later glaze that I'm using on the steaks. I'm going to let this cook, and I'm going to go grab my steaks, get them out, and I want those steaks to start warming up a little bit and getting to near room temperature.
Alrighty.
All right, so everything's looking good. I'm gonna fry these batches up, and every now and then I'm stirring them. Easy to make a mess. I'll usually use a spoon or a spatula. The spatulas actually work pretty darn good. And I start getting to the point where I gotta keep the salt going on it. And this guy will start running hot over here. And then with the oven, at some point, I'm gonna take these off. And they'll be pretty cooked, close to ready to eat. Like you could eat them fried. But I'm gonna move them there and into these dishes, and then at some point I'm gonna mix the cheese in, then throw it in the oven, and that'll help kind of dry it out a little bit, get some of the texture, the greasiness and the moisture out of them, and they'll be perfect. And then you're throwing cheese in. And what I found is if you make the mistake of leaving them in the oven and just turning it off, that was a big no-no for me, because it kind of dried them out too much. So at the point where I'm done, man, I'm pulling them and just putting a little bit of foil on them, covering them with foil, and just letting them sit. I'm getting them out of that oven. Yep. And I'll usually keep in the oven for about 12 minutes. So you want to really make sure.
And how hot do you keep the oven?
I put it at 400.
400, 12 minutes after
I fried them.
You fried them and then covered them with cheese and put them in the baking dishes. Okay.
Exactly. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And these things keep real well. They warm up great.
They taste better the second day.
Yeah. And they'll complement anything. I mean, if
you can have them for breakfast with scrambled eggs. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And what I like about them is that, you know, if you have people that you have meat dishes with it, so a lot of times if there's no meat in it, it's a great complement to meat. Or if you have someone that's a vegetarian, like I grew up with my mom being a vegetarian, she loves eating these.
Yeah. I never grew up, so, but she was my mom too. Okay, we're back, and we have poured ourselves a couple of glasses of wine, and Adam brought the meat out. It's getting to room temperature here. It's been marinating now for, I think this is going on 40 hours or something like that.
Yeah, 48 hours.
And now Adam has been cooking these up.
Okay, these guys are looking ready to me. I mean, they're fried, they're crispy in spots, and some of them are charred a little bit more than others. But a lot of times what you're doing is you're moving them around and you're seeing those ones and feeling those ones that are kind of need to be cooked, and you're pushing them under there and you're letting them get charred and get that. I've got it up on high or very close to high. This burner, I switched the pans because this burner works a little bit better. But see that crisping? That's how I like it. That's how I like it right there. So these are about ready for me to take off.
Yeah.
So at this point here in this pan, I'm turning it off. Now I'm on this one. This is the thicker one. If you mess around too much with it, it's gonna get kind of mushy, and you'll see that. So, you know, at some point, the less you touch it, the better, but look at that. Look at that crispiness, and there's some in there that are softer, and I can feel like a little crunch to it, like they need to be kind of pushed down and cooked a little bit more. I like to get them good and cooked before I put them in. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not partially cooking them and throwing them in. I could eat these now. I want them, but I don't, I'm getting them to that point, and then I'm turning it off. So the units are off, and now it's just gonna kind of cool a little bit, and I'm gonna move to this next step here.
I think what Adam also wanted to say was that, you know, we've been filming and then we've been cutting away and coming back after he's been doing a lot of this frying. So you want to keep these things on for a while. I would estimate you fried these things for at least 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
15 to 20 minutes.
At least.
On pretty much high, and you were moving them around and stuff, so.
Yeah, so, and it's 20 minutes. That sounds about right. And so what I'll do is I'll kind of mix them, my batches. I'll kind of, just kind of spread them out there. And I take a big spoon here. So, get my cheese, and I'm gonna layer it. Okay. I'll come back to that. Okay, so then I take my spoon and I'm just gonna kind of
rotate the cheese into it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn it around. Just gonna mix it and blend it in there. Nothing big. You guys know what I'm doing now. You can kind of see my mentality. Some people might just choose to say, yeah, I'm just gonna put a layer on it.
Yeah,
you know, that's fine. And I look at it closely here as I'm turning it.
Yeah, I like you mixing the cheese in, so that every single bite you get some cheese in it.
Well, you know, and some people may prefer to put less of it or more of it.
Well, I don't like those people.
I've also used mozzarella, like I said.
Oh, yeah.
And it's worked just fine. So, I mean, sky's the limit with whatever kind of cheese you guys like to blend and mix with your.
So that blend is the Mexican style, like a 4-cheese blend, right?
Yeah. So I see this, and I'll put a little bit more up here on top. Dash here on some of these spots here. Mainly on this one here. Okay? So now I'm where I need to be. Okay? So now my oven's already preheated. It happened during the frying session. And I'm gonna grab this and stick that in there. Grabbing this guy right here, right next to him. All right, now, because I have a tendency to forget shit, I'm gonna set it for 12 minutes and hit start, and I'll watch it.
And it's baked, not broiled, right?
Yeah, bake. And you can broil them too, but if you broil it, do it less because it's higher, it's like 5 something. So I'm thinking the reason why I might take it out sooner than 12 minutes, and I'll just explain that to you, is because if you notice, especially in the pan, the glass dish pan that had a lot of space in it, it's gonna just cook a lot faster in there. Now, if it was thicker and I had it all in one and it was nice and thick, I'd keep it in there for the 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I might end up taking it out in 8 to 10.
Okay, we are back. We've got our wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's in the oven cooking, and Oh. That is...
Somebody just rang the doorbell.
That is a special guest we have coming here. And I'll have an opportunity to... Jake, good to see you.
You too, Adam. How you doing?
Hey,
I
come
haven't
on
seen
in.
this guy forever. How you
on in.
doing?
Aaron, how are you?
Yeah, good to see you.
You too.
Well, follow me, Jake. We're going to head to my kitchen. I have some potatoes going and some steaks.
All right.
And
Joe Rogan never does this shit, I'll tell you that.
so make yourself comfortable. Just sit up at the bar there. And these are the prime ribeyes. I got them at Juanito's Meats.
Prime Meats, yeah.
Yeah,
So
over here.
prime grade, huh?
Yeah, over here in Tri-Cities on Clearwater in Kennewick. And so they've been marinating over 48 hours, and I used in a previous session, I talked about my marinade. It's basically the same marinade. The only difference is I used more Sweet Baby Ray's,
right,
and I put some ketchup in to thicken it. I wanted it a little thicker. So I added some ketchup to it. That was the only difference. Worcestershire's going into it. Teriyaki is going into it. And then I put some seasonings in it. And the seasonings I put in this is Papa Steve's, which my son bought for me in Pasco at a meat market over there, and I love it. And so I've looked around for it online. I'm sure it's out there, but they sell it at least locally over there. And he gave me a fresh one for a birthday gift. So this is going to be what goes into my glaze, and I've done this before, but the difference is instead of me using a honey habanero or Greek type seasonings, I'm going to be using Papa Steve's with it, and I'll glaze the meat after I pull it off. Let's talk a little bit about our special guest today.
All right.
Special guest is Jake Church. He's the Yakima County Sheriff's Deputy Lieutenant. Recently promoted. Of course, he's worked years as a supervisor for me when I was a chief of police in the Valley in Yakima area. And so what I liked about Jake is he qualifies as a professional food taster, wine connoisseur, and also he's very seasoned when it comes to cigars. How he qualifies is just by doing. Jake always finds a way to show up and eat your food and have drinks with you. And
he's also trained as a medic if we pass out because we're overweight.
That's the truth. And I'll tell you something else about him is he's been doing it for so many years. He's really honed his skills. So Jake, how does a guy such as yourself who has a full-time career already find the time to be able to delve into food tasting and sampling?
Well, it takes a lot of dedication. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
But just, my off time, I like to, well, of course, my introduction to wine was through Adam,
right?
Initially. Yeah. And so, wherever you had a chance, traveling around or whatever.
You guys actually went to Napa one time on a business trip, right? And did you take a little bit of time to go?
Yeah, we were actually at Fairfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a wine tasting just outside of Fairfield, California. So
yeah,
it's right there.
Really cool.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was actually quite an experience. One thing you should always do when you're hosting is when someone comes in and starts getting comfortable, you need to offer them a glass of wine. Aaron's gonna take you to the next system.
I'm also the cameraman, so it's kind of hard for me to do both.
So we're gonna shoot down this way, Jay.
Yep. Okay, we are back.
All right.
Adam's pulling these hot from the oven right now.
Put this guy right here. This one.
Look at that.
See, there's some sizzle going on. See that sizzle? Love that sizzle. All right. So now.
Oh, you can hear it. Still cooking.
Like I told you. Get this sucker foil pretty hot. Do not leave them in your oven, even on low or whatever, because like I said, they'll dry out, you guys. So just kind of let them, they'll cool off a little bit out here naturally. Right now I've got a barbecue getting hot, got to get out there, take care of business. So we've got the side dish done, and then we're gonna move on to the steaks. That's the fun part.
All right.
All right, we're back. So I got my Weber grill up over 500. We're gonna get these babies on, and let's get her on.
These are some big steaks, man. Love them.
They are, man.
That.
No joke. Some big motherfuckers right here.
What I like is that,
Look at that.
sound of the sizzle, man. The sound of the
Sound of the
sizzle.
sizzle. That's what our fans want to hear. There's plenty of marinade on that. I don't have to baste it, so I'm getting it down there and we're gonna get that hot and get that seared up. And that's the whole idea. We're gonna sear both sides, and then we're just
God, you
gonna
can
watch
smell
the
it.
meat, and then at some point we'll pick it up
You can smell that
and
marinade. That's great. Alrighty. We'll be
show
back
you the
shortly.
stages of it.
Be back shortly. Time to turn.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Throw
Look at
one.
that.
This guy's ready too. See this guy?
Yep, they're ready. Definitely ready for the turn.
Gotta baste these babies right here. That grill is hot, man. I can feel that heat. All right,
Perfect.
get that sucker shut. Build that heat up. Look at that. Already liking it. Already liking it.
Oh man. Oh man. This is what life is all about, baby, right here.
Right here, so you're taking the fat. It's like if I was out on the beach, you know, I want to make sure everything gets tanned, right? And so you're gonna sear the fat, and I sometimes do it until my hand can't take it anymore.
This is a technique you learned about in the Philippines, right, Alan?
I did that among other things in the Philippines. Great place to visit. You come back a happy man. No, look at this. I'm searing that fat right in there. Really want to. Do you see that was pretty white in there?
Yeah.
And these are big cuts, man.
They
I saw
are.
when
They look tender.
I sent you the picture of them when they
Yep.
were raw. When I bought them.
Might I suggest some basting before we're done?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. See. Okay, looks like we got some flame. Now, you never want to be afraid of the flame. You don't want to fear it. You want to use the flame. It's your friend. The flame is your friend.
The night is my friend.
Oh, man, that's lovely. That is lovely. Some people say, oh, no, you're burning it. Oh, those people are vegan. That's
That
what I
don't know how to hunt. No offense, Mom.
Ooh, that's right. Oh, I'm telling you. Set those guys up on top.
This guy's wonderful.
Yeah.
I gotta get. Now this guy's a little rubbery. I want to get that fat.
Oh.
And this guy too. So.
You see that part right there? That part right there. That on that lower stage right
Hey,
there. That's
no
the best part.
micromanaging. Right there.
He does have a temper, audience. A real temper.
That's burning my hand. Good thing. Good idea.
We
Good idea.
are pulling them. We are pulling these guys. I think they're ready.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, that is living the good life, baby. That's what that is. All right. Man, those smell just amazing.
Jacob,
Yes.
can you help me? I'm
Nicely
gonna
done.
let you take this.
We're back.
Hey, we're back. So, you saw the steaks, I pulled them off, they're right over here. And they're looking delicious. This is how I want them. I'm letting them cool a little bit. So while they're cooling, I come over here, and I've done this before, so you've seen to some degree, pretty much how I've done my glaze. There are 3 big steaks, and I want to get both sides. And I'm just going to put a whole cube of this butter in. I guess I could have probably...
There's a tab on that. I think you can just pull the tab.
Oh.
Right there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not kidding. Oh, that's fancy.
Well, I'm a
I knew
scientist.
you'd come in handy someday, brother. All right. So we got some of this fancy syrup I bought at Costco.
Right?
Yeah. And, okay, so how much am I pouring? I just kind of go by feel.
Like a third a bottle, maybe even...
No, not that much. But take a look.
Yeah, about a quarter of
So
a bottle.
look at the bowl. Yeah, so it's nice. That's
good.
Not quite a quarter. So, but then you got the molasses, and I like Grandma's. You can buy this at Safeway, Fred Meyer.
I like Uncle...
I don't put too much of this.
Oh, that's nice, though, yeah.
But take a look at that.
Thickens it up.
So I'm thickening it. I throw it on top of that butter. Now I'm going to jump at the brown sugar. Diabetics, beware, okay? Only do this once in a while. Now, I'm going to grab a spoon. Go with me. Okay.
You got to put in a softball size amount. Nothing like brown sugar.
All right, so let's scrape some out here. There we go. It's looking good. I don't want it to chunk up. I want it kind of grounded up. And let's do one more. All right, that'll work.
Right. That's
all right. And then, right here, what we were talking about.
This is that special seasoning, right?
Yep, it is. So my grandson tells me, yep, it is, Grandpa. Yep, it is.
Oh, and he puts
right
a good
there.
Amount. Good amount.
I got a good amount on there. And so you saw what I did with the Papa Steve's. I just layered the top. Now, you guys find your own. There's other seasonings you might like. Some people might do Montreal. Aaron might do one on the spices. There's Spiceology in Spokane, where they have a lot of options. I like Greek Freak or Honey Habanero, or similar powders are fantastic instead of this. So now you got this. I'm putting it in the microwave. Let's just get her done at 2 minutes. And I gotta watch it. Remember, when you pull that sucker out, it's gonna be fucking hot. You don't wanna burn your hands. So grab some mitts, and then you're gonna get ready to stir it in a little small spoon ladle to glaze the meat. Now meanwhile, you got the meat here and it's cooling, that's what you want it to do. Then you're gonna throw that glaze on it after its temperature's kind of calmed down a little bit. You get that on there, then you get ready to serve. So we're not gonna mess around. We'll be back in a few.
Alrighty. Okay, we just pulled the glaze out of
Go to my
the
face.
microwave.
Very important. Use gloves on this. You will burn yourself. I've done it often when I'm careless or I've had too much wine. So now I get my little spoon ladle and I gotta mix all that together that you saw me, what I put in. And look at, there's still a little chunk of butter in there. Stir it all together.
It's melting quickly though.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice, okay? Now, all right. So now I'm pouring it on. And I can't wait to hear the review from professional food taster Jake Church, who comes with the experience. He definitely has the resume. Sometimes you get a little chunk of butter on it. That's okay.
All right.
Yeah, man, that's all right. And so I got that sitting on one side, but you know me, I got to get it all. All right.
Oh man.
Oh, big chunks of prime ribeye. All right. And for a lot of you guys, once you get your spices and invest in your stuff, you'll have it, you'll know what to buy, and this will become routine. I mean, you don't do it all the time. Sometimes you just do the basic marinade. You don't glaze it. But when I get special guests, Jake has never tried it, so I really want Jake to try it. And
Seriously? Jake has not tried it?
No.
All the years he's been hanging out with us?
Honestly, I don't think he's tried this thing. And then I'm going to finish it with some more Steve's. Right here, just A gentle sprinkle. Yeah, I'm not going to overdo it. Because it was inside of the mix, you guys. I already had it inside the mix.
Heaven in your mouth, baby.
So there it is. It looks beautiful. We're going to get it on the plate. As you see over here, we have the potatoes. They're ready to go. And let's see the finishing touch here.
All right. We just got done serving our plates, and we're going to take a quick look at these guys with the potatoes
cut that steak.
and the steak.
Go ahead and cut that steak.
Go ahead and
Jake.
cut through it, Jake, and we're going to...
All right.
We're going to take a look at what it looks like.
Put it right through
down
that,
the middle.
baby. Yeah, go ahead.
middle?
Wherever
Right
you
down
want.
the middle.
Wherever you want.
We can do it right through
Get
here.
a good cut in there. All right. Now, let's show that to the camera. Show that to the camera. Right there. That's just how I like it.
All right.
Now, look at this. Now, we're going to pour a little glaze in there. Okay? And you're going to enjoy that.
Oh, yeah.
And you take a bite of that for the fans out there.
Camera? Okay.
And you tell us what you think of it.
It's going to be a big one. Not pretty fucking good shit, brother.
I think I understood you. I heard good shit in it. Yeah,
That's a
good
pretty
shit.
fucking good steak.
All right.
That's excellent.
Okay. Hey, how about the potatoes? Give the potatoes a little shot.
All right.
Tell me what you think of those. You're Irish, man. You should know potatoes.
Cheesy oniony potatoes, right?
You got a strand of cheese hanging down off you like a porn movie. Oh, that's awesome. That's
good
great.
stuff. Yeah,
That's
good
good
stuff.
stuff. That's the
All right.
money shot, buddy.
Okay, there's my plate right there. That is just paradise.
Oh,
paradise.
God.
And Adam has served himself up.
A man's hard work finally comes to an end, and he can sit and
All
enjoy
right.
with the peasants. Oh, I love what I did. Oh my God. Love that marinade. Love it. Love the glaze.
This end piece is going to be pretty freaking good.
All right.
That's why I picked.
Here's looking at you, baby.
Beautiful. Hey,
Oh, cheers. Gotta do some cheers.
cheers, man.
What?
Hey, to friends and family. Long life, health, and
Live a good life.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Fantastic.
This looks like the bite of the century right here.
Nothing like the satisfaction of the charred.
That bite,
No, no, no.
nothing better. Want to eat those meats?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good quality meat.
Yeah, yeah. I really like it. Each steak ran about 25 bucks. You were right. You're like they'll run you about 25 bucks. They're like the silver level primes, and they had about 8 of them out there, 7 or 8.
And these have to be probably 18, 20 ounces of steak.
Yeah, they're good size.
Yeah. They're not bone in, they're bone out.
Yeah.
So it's all meat.
Oh God. Hey, we're back. And so to end this wonderful meal, we're going to be up in my man cave picking out some cigars. We're going to do kind of a browse of what I got up here in my man cave. It starts with a lot of pictures to celebrate Raiderism and the greatness that comes with excellence. You'll see some artwork on the walls. Some of it Raider related. This by Tom Cruise, not the actor, but the inmate. A great trustee. We gave him Subway sandwiches and the guy would paint for us. He even managed to do Templar stuff. And of course, we're big fans of Lord of the Rings, and whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or whatever else, all that fantasy stuff comes into play when you look at Game of Thrones and some of the stuff that's on my walls. We have a big poker table area. We have a big screen TV for video games or just for watching football games. We have swords. A meth head did this for me, actually for 175 bucks, way back in the day. So that wasn't bad. Did it all out of wood. The guy was pretty gifted. And then you come over here to my cigars where I store it. And of course, then over there to my trophy,
This is the shrine of Adam's career as a wrestler,
football player, martial artist, and whatever else comes with that. So let's go.
water boy for the football team.
So over here we have some cigars to pick from. We can make some recommendations. I moved it up here. It was just a lot easier.
So for those people who don't know, a humidor is basically a refrigerator that keeps the humidity and the temperature the right values for storing cigars for long periods of time.
So I store them here. I use certain liquids inside here to keep the humidity balanced and what have you. And there's sensors in there that can tell me on my phone if they're out of whack. And in this case today, we're at the point where we're gonna pick some cigars. So I'm gonna start by, I'm gonna pick a cigar. I'm gonna talk to Jake a little bit, see kind of what he's feeling like. I kind of have something in mind for Jake. I'd really like him to try. I don't think he's tried this before.
Go ahead, Jake, move on in there. And
And so this is a Fat Bottom Betty.
Love those.
This has some sweetness to it.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's very smooth. You'll almost get some chocolate and vanilla like off your lips right when you light it up.
But it's not overwhelming because you'll get notes of a good solid cigar as well on that.
And it's really a good cigar. And so I'll prepare this one for Jay.
Okay.
Aaron, I had in mind for you either an EP Carrillo or an aging room or even Le Bajou.
Something very expensive and very highly rated is what I want.
I was thinking, or do you want a sun-grown RP?
Le Bijou, one of my all-time favorites.
A very high-ranked cigar. I think it's a 96
cigar.
And that's a fantastic cigar to pick from. And of course, I'm going to go with
sun-grown.
RP sun-grown.
RP
Rocky
is
Patel.
Rocky Patel, that's right.
And this is a great cigar to smoke. It's good size. And so there's our 3 cigars. And we're going to take them out back. And we're going to have a port that we're going to pick out. And I'm letting my brother pick the port. And then afterwards, we're going to get kind of some feedback from special guest, taster connoisseur, Deputy Jake Church, Lieutenant. So this is a wine fridge that Adam has. And there is a port down here that I think would go perfectly with what we want. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I see one right here. This is a Bartholomew Suzao, and it is a great port to go with cigars. I'm going to go ahead and hand this to Jake.
There we go.
And we're going to take care of that. We'll be back in just a moment.
We are outside here. Adam is just getting us acclimated with the situation. We've got our cigars. I've got the My Father cigar. We've got the Bartholomew Suzao port style wine. It's a 2014.
Great.
We've got another cigar here. That's called, what is that called again?
That's
Adam?
a Betty.
Betty.
A Betty.
A Fat Bottom Betty.
Fat Bottom Betty. And Adam has a Rocky Patel sun-grown cigar that's just...
So we're going to end up tearing
really
these labels
excellent.
off. We'll just throw them right over here into this, and I'll get. So, did you notice some of the sweetness, like right off the get-go?
Right off the bat.
Right, yeah.
Right
Yeah. And then that'll kind of die down a little bit, and then you'll start getting into some more flavor when you start getting into that part of the cigar. But yeah, they're good tasting cigars. They're smooth. Actually, surprisingly.
So the wrapper on that cigar is actually infused with some sort of sweetened flavor, right? But the insides of the cigar, not so much. The insides of the cigar are actually, legitimate leaf from some country like Nicaragua or Dominican Republic. I don't know exactly what the source of the filler leaf from that cigar, but Adam could probably tell you.
Yeah, I know I couldn't. But I actually, what I did know about it was I like, like sometimes you want a dessert wine after you eat something sweet. Like when I do something sweet like that, that would also complement like a scotch or a whiskey, right?
I see that, yeah.
So you're kind of offsetting it. But if you don't smoke a lot, and every now and then you're just jumping into a cigar and stuff, I mean, the sweetness might not be as overwhelming to you as someone who smokes a lot of cigars.
Right.
And so, the fact that you have this port, have you tried this?
I have.
So what do you think of this?
I like it. It's sweet and smooth.
So I mean, a lot of cigars will
just think
have
it sips.
they'll have a component of a little bit of bitterness.
Like a
to it,
brandy
right?
wine. Yeah.
But when you get something sweet and something bitter together, they tend to complement. And so that's why a lot of times, if you have something that's sweet, like a port, and you're getting a full-bodied cigar that has some components of leather and a little bit of bitterness and some other notes of whatever they might be, right? Cigars can be a lot like wines. They can have all kinds of different attributes for flavors. They tend to complement each other. It's like a balance, right? All right, we're back. We are winding down on our cigars and our port.
We need to get his opinion.
Yeah, let's talk about what we experienced today.
Well, we experienced one of the best steaks I've ever had. Be the first to admit.
You like the steaks? Steaks, thumbs up.
Yeah, steaks, thumbs up.
All right.
The wine, all three good. The second one was my favorite. I forget what it was called.
Second one was the Col Solare Shining Hill,
Okay.
2017.
I felt it was, for me, it was the smoothest. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then the port, you talked about how it kind of complements a cigar. I agree. This is one of the first times I've had a cigar. It might be the quality of the cigar where my tongue doesn't taste like crap and I'm more than half the way done.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the combination of the port and this. But
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, cigars in general take some getting used to, and what I like about that cigar for you is that because it's been a while since you and I have delved into cigars together, and I figured you'd like the sweetness on it. It's kind of mild, and but I also like how it's going to complement what you're drinking with it and offset any of that aftertaste that you might perceive as kind of, it's like anything else you're gonna burn, you know. There's that carcinogenic kind of little aftertaste that kind of floats with it, but you're still gonna get flavors on it. No different than a steak that gets charred on the outside, or my potatoes that I did. You know, there's taste in between it, but this offsets that a little bit the longer you stay on something like a cigar. So yeah, Aaron, your thoughts?
Everything was a compromise. I think Adam's potatoes perfectly were a really good complement to the steak itself. The steak was nice and sweet and crispy and juicy with a lot of flavor, and the potatoes were really just delicious with a lot of that olive oil and the herbal flavors and the spices that he put in the
Yeah, I like that
potatoes.
Papa Steve's. That Papa Steve's was
really good compliment. On top of that, the wines were perfect. You know, Cabernet or Bordeaux blends that are dominant with Cab are perfect with a meal like that. And then we got the cigars. The cigars are all premium, high-end cigars, and this port is the perfect complement to any sort of bitterness you might get from the cigar. But we're not getting a lot of bitterness out of it.
No, yeah.
But there's a lot of good flavors that are complemented by this sweet, really nice, well-balanced port from Bartholomew Winery. And shout out to Bart.
Yeah, we love you, Bart.
Bart Fabush.
We love you.
He has also been on one of our earlier episodes. Awesome winemaker. He's got a winery out by the Cable Bridge in Kennewick.
Go see him. He'll treat you good.
Go visit it.
He'll treat you good.
His port is pairing perfectly with these high-end premium cigars. That's my take. For all of us, peace out. Hope you enjoyed this show. We'll be back on another episode. Take care.